شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتوي پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور.
In the name of Almighty Allah, good evening and welcome to this hour's news. This is Sulaiman Talash. The spokesman of the Islamic Emirate, Maulavi Zabihullah Mujahid, said that the Prime Minister Mullah Muhammad Hassan Akund met with the Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, in Abu Dhabi. Mr. Al Nahyan said that this visit, the country stands by the Afghan nation in the reconstruction of Afghanistan. It's worth mentioning that the Prime Minister of the Islamic Emirate, Mullah Muhammad Hassan Akund, traveled to this country for treatment. The Deputy Governor of Badakhshan, Qari Aminullah Taib, in a meeting with Maulavi Abdul Salam Hanafi, the Administrative Deputy of the Prime Minister, discussed the implementation of development projects, the development of education, health, communication routes, the strengthening of the coasts of Amur River, and the development of telecommunication services in this province. He shared related information and requested special attention in these areas. In this meeting, the Administrative Deputy of Prime Minister said that providing services and the facilities to the citizens in various fields is one of the duties of the Islamic Emirate, and the officials will not stop their efforts in this regard. A high-ranking delegation led by the Prime Minister of Uzbekistan, Abdullah Arifov, on an official visit arrived in Kabul today. The Minister of Industry and Trade says that the purpose of this trip is to participate in the business communication meeting between Afghanistan and Uzbekistan and to open an exhibition of the country's products in Kabul. The Minister of National Defense, Maulavi Muhammad Yaqub Mujahid, along with many officials, visited the Beshahi camp on the imaginary line of Dangam district of Kunar province and visited the newly constructed security checkpoints and bridge there. In this visit, Maulavi Muhammad Yaqub Mujahid gave necessary recommendations to the Mujahideen in the defense of the country's borders and the territorial integrity, and promised to provide comprehensive facilities and supplies in addition to construction of other security posts. A delegation led by the Minister of Transport of Uzbekistan visited Balkh province along with several officials of the Islamic Emirate and evaluated the Kabul-Mazar highway in order to facilitate trade with India through Afghanistan. Uzbek officials say that this will not only be a transit route, but Afghan products will also reach international markets through this route. More details in a report.
A delegation led by the Minister of Transport of Uzbekistan has arrived to Balkh province to visit the Kabul-Mazar highway and Uzbekistan-Afghanistan Peshawar railway. During his visit to Afghanistan, the director of the railway administration of Uzbekistan said that, along with the Central Asian countries, Russia also shown interest in the construction of this road.
In this way, not only Uzbekistan is connected, but also Central and South Asian countries with shared interests are connected. Even Russia has shown interest. This route will not only be a transit route. From this route, Afghans can take their country's products to international markets.
On the other hand, the officials of the Islamic Emirate welcome Uzbekistan for this step and add that Afghanistan has the rule of an avenue and the Islamic Emirate commits to start the construction of this road sooner.
The relations between the countries of Afghanistan and Uzbekistan are useful and faithful for the future of Afghanistan. You know that today they are visiting Sharpan and visiting all routes, including Kabul-Pulikumri route. And this indicates that the progress of our country, Afghanistan, coming of these is useful in all sectors and areas. As the heart of Asia, Afghanistan has a very valuable role in connecting Central Asia and South Asia. The Islamic Emirate is preparing for the facilitation of all transportation matters in this direction, which we will start soon, inshallah.
According to the information, in 2003, 600 tons of commercial goods have been transported through Uzbekistan, Afghanistan and Pakistan, and say that commercial goods have been transported. They say that with the construction of this road, the level of transportation of commercial goods will reach 10 million tons. The railway will start from Uzbekistan to connect with India through Kabul, Peshawar.
A delegation led by the Deputy Director of Iran's General Anti-Narcotics Agency, Mohammad Zarai, has arrived in Kabul. Spokesman of the Ministry of Interior Affairs, Mufti Abdulmateen Qani, said that this delegation will meet with the Deputy Chief Constable Mullah Abdul Haq Akund for the fight against narcotics and other officials of the Ministry of Interior Affairs. The first mineral stones collection of Afghanistan was exported to China through Iran's Chabahar port. Based on Irana news report, according to the officials of Iran's Sistan and Baluchistan provinces, the first collection of Afghanistan's mineral stone was sent directly to China through Chabahar Shahid-e-Beheshti port. Officials say that these mineral stones loaded in 12 trucks were sent from Nimroz province of Afghanistan first to Iran and then to China. The National Environmental Protection Agency is submitting the 10-year climate change plan, which takes Afghanistan's needs into consideration to the United Nations Climate Change Convention Secretariat. According to the officials, the implementation of this plan will cost about $20 billion. More details in the report. The National Environmental Protection Agency says that the 10-year plan to deal with climate change, which includes the needs of Afghanistan, is being investigated and completed.
Fortunately, we revised this document from 90 to 95%. Currently, about 5% of this document has topics left to complete. This document was designed for 10 years. About $28 billion for 10 years of Afghanistan's needs to combat climate change are included in this tradition. This is how we can handle climate change in different sectors, and all the requirements are included in this document in the form of short-term, medium-term and long-term plans.
The head of climate change of this agency says that this 100-page document will soon be completed and sent to the Secretariat of the United Nations Climate Change Convention in order to receive assistance in fight against climate change in the country. He adds that by presenting and implementing this document, Afghanistan can reduce the negative effects of climate change in the country.
This document is supposed to be completed soon, and we will send it to the Secretariat of the United Nations Climate Change Convention. With the implementation of this document, as mentioned, all the needs of Afghanistan in terms of adaptation, emission reduction, capacity building, technology transfer, and long-term and short-term programs have been including the use of climate change. Of course, this is subject to receipt of international financial assistance from climate change funds.
On the other hand, climate change and environmental experts call the recent drought, floods, and extreme heat in the country as the causes of climate change and say that the lack of participation and financial aid from international organizations in supporting countries has increased the level of humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan.
Climate change is a global issue and a global phenomenon. Unfortunately, Afghanistan does not play a role in it, and it is necessary that the countries that give money in the climate change sector mention Afghanistan in this sector, because Afghanistan is one of the affected countries with the least preparedness in the face of unfortunate consequences.
The National Environmental Protection Agency still says that Afghanistan has no role in climate change, but it has been 2 decades since this country has been affected by climate change in the world. And the last one is that a delegation led by Mullah Nuruddin Torabi, director of the National Disaster Management Agency, has traveled to Herat province to evaluate the financial losses of the Herat customs fire. Mullah Nuruddin Torabi, in a meeting with the officials of Herat province, said that after a comprehensive evaluation, they are trying to help the victims of this incident. This hour's news is ending in here. Thank you so much for watching.
شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتوي پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور